So this is Hard to Wulin, Gauntlet, TGIT. This is Song of Sorrows, a what was intended to be a 4-session arc. It's become a 3-session arc because illness. And I am here with our illustrious crew to wrap things up today. We're going to be rolling through and seeing where our stories take us. This is a final session of an arc. Some people who've played with me before know this, but when we get to, we may end when we end. But if we're getting up close to time, we get to sort of like the last half hour. You just may see me hard framing things more tightly, just to kind of get all the pieces into play, so we can get to some resolution, and so we can get to the epilogue. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. But we're first going to check in with all of our players and our characters and see where they're at and figure out what they're up to. I want to start, and I'm going to work across my little set of faces here on the bottom of my screen. I'm going to start with Delon. Chris, let's look at Delon. Are you happy with the 2 entanglements that you have, or do you think you need to change either of those, shift them, revise them? What do you think?
No, I kind of like them right now because they continue to highlight the central facet of Delon's character, which is that Peerless Falcon, his master, is a complete and total jerk.
Yes, absolutely. And normally I would have you highlight, but we're not doing end of session experience, so I'm just we've got both of those. We've got your Broken Dancer. Let's quickly look at your moves that you have right now. Guidance of an Elder, we haven't seen that yet on the table, so maybe we can look at that. And of course, trying to change the worthy agent of a foe is another one. So I'll try and remember that you've got those 2 moves on the table right now. Where's Delon at headwise?
I think at the end of the last session that we played, Delon was slowly coming to the realization that something was wrong concerning Peerless Falcon and Gia, his fellow student / rival. There was his idealized image of them had not broken yet, but there were cracks in it, and so he's feeling a little out of sorts. He's feeling a little like he's feeling a little like he has loose footing. He's not sure where the solid ground is as far as his worldview is right now. But he is. I think in this stage he is leaning a lot more on his friends right now than he is on his master or his former friend Gia.
Okay, all right. That gives us a good sense of where you're at, which brings us then to Broken Dancer. Broken Dancer, let's look at your entanglements.
Yes, so romance, my friend Casting Blaze and I vie for the attention of Zen Copper, despite their indifference to either of us or both of us. I like that one. I want to keep that. The other one, I don't know if it'll come into play, so I'm not sure. I don't really have an idea for a new one. So my clan senior Silver Song suspects that my friend One-Eyed Ming works against our faction. And we started playing that a little bit to try and play it off so that supported One-Eyed Ming in this, so that One-Eyed Ming would get. So we could certainly continue playing it. So that's probably the best thing to do.
Okay, and if you at some point during the session you're like, oh, let me tweak this a little, or this is how I'm going to play this, feel free to say that. If we were playing this longer term, it might be a point at which we would look at that and go, okay, maybe I want to shift this to involve Delon and what we're trying to do with Delon and breaking him off from Peerless Falcon or something of that sort.
Well, I could be totally evil and just add the phrase to it. Suspects that my friend One-Eyed Wing works against our faction when in fact Broken Dancer is.
There is that. I always love shady revelations later on.
But
we've got your thief status. You have your art. We've seen you slip through restraints and the come drink with me, the keeping people's attention. Of course, Golden Knight is Sherry's favorite. thing of all time, having an illustrious wardrobe.
Yes, well, I figured a dancer, so I have to have it. It has to be the sort of thing that every scene now she's going to be in something different.
Yes, awesome. Well, then I'll ask you how you're dressed. Ask you for colors at very least. Then, which brings us to one-eyed Ming. Ming, let's look at your entanglements.
Oh yes. So romantic, I love casting Blaze, but their family member, Withering Gaze, has sworn revenge against me. I think we ended on a nice note with that last time, so I'd like to keep going with that. And
certainly, we put Withering Gaze out on the table, so she is in the mix right now.
and we had that nice scene where casting Blaze was very interested in someone else, not me. So
yes, the first time you've really realized that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
my general is that my sibling Delan and I were separated at birth, and Peerless Falcon raised them to destroy my clan.
You had the opportunity to tell Delan, and yet that you held back.
I couldn't. It wasn't the right time.
Perfect. Are you happy with both those?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, awesome. And let's look at your moves. We've done the hidden. I mean, we understand that you are disguising your art, and that revealing where you came from is going to be a big revelation if that happens. There's his name is Nobody. So feel free to walk foolishly into something.
Exactly.
And of course, a couple other good ones. The supporting one, the kid with the golden arm. Okay. That all looks good to me. And I think you're the only person who still has a stat marked.
I do. Water was marked. I believe that was from failing one of my inner conflicts.
Okay. Excellent. Which brings us, Peter, so excited, to casting Blaze. So let's look at your two entanglements. Tell us what they are again.
Yeah, sure. So the first one, not gonna lie, my favorite. I fled from Zheng Copper because of the heartache, but Moonsworn Heart, his lover, has called me back to honor a debt. I'm not going to touch that one.
Absolutely.
It's rife with, as we saw last time, it's rife with just all of the awkward tension that this really deserves. And then my other one is, I've learned my friend Delan has been betrayed by his teacher, Peerless Falcon, but he will never believe me. And I like that last session we seem to bring that in too. So,
yeah, they both seem to be working. Do you need any adjustments on them, or are you good with those?
I'm good with the entanglements.
Okay. We've got your Trickster, which allows you to kind of always use hearts and minds. We've got the Have Sword Will Travel. You've got that Perfect Disguise one too.
I've switched that out. The original one I had was whatever. I'm trying to Hero Shed No Tears.
Yeah, the one we talked about last time. Good.
Yeah,
change.
I did, and now I'm just thinking I'm needing to look for one more. I think I'm going to go with another move. I just don't know which one yet.
Absolutely.
I actually switched to the Imposter one because of the encounter with Withering Gaze, and I went, it runs in the family.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Once we've seen one disguise on screen, that is perfect. So last time the group ended up gathering together in the estate of Magistrate, I believe Bao, if I recall correctly, and there was much discussion of things that went on there, and you came to kind of an understanding that maybe you could work together for some taking of items. Discoveries were made that, in fact, the golden shirt that the magistrate has is a decoy hidden in the vaults, and that, in fact, Zheng Copper has the real one. We saw last time that Zheng Copper has received some death threats, and his lover, Moonsworn Heart, is the one who called, of course, Casting Blaze back to assist. And so the group met with them, and it was in the course of that we were introduced to Withering Gaze in her disguise. So there's some question. We still haven't seen the rest of these Thunders, these thieves that are supposedly after the golden shirt. We don't know exactly what's up with Casting Blaze or with Moonsworn Heart, and how and why Withering Gaze is involved with that. And then, of course, Peerless Falcon is here to assist with the guarding of the golden shirt. He and his first student, Gia, are here. And Delon has considered this now. Delon, you had you asked your compatriots to help you guard the shirt?
Yes, and I think he asked them to help him basically guard the shirt. I can't remember if he put it in those exact words, but help him to protect the shirt from this group of thieves who he knows is in the area. He probably mentioned the Thunders as the main antagonists, and I got the impression that Delon didn't get this impression because he's clueless in this respect. But
right,
I got the impression that pretty much everybody else was like, "Yeah, that's not really who's going to take it. It's going to be Peerless Falcon."
So let me ask you this: we could go forward to the next day, or we could stay here at night. And if there are things that people want to do, then we can do that. So let me check in if anybody's like, there's something I want to do before we move forward in time. And this is posed as an open question. Does anybody have a scene that you want to do before I roll time forward?
I think Delon had been called to meet with his master before retiring for the evening. So
and
he would certainly want to kind of get in like a short,
then let's do that. And Ming, you have a scene you want?
I just wanted to drop off something in Delon's room when he's not there.
Okay. Well, in that case, let's do Delon meeting with his master, and then we'll see what you are up to. So Delon, you will move through this estate. They have a fairly large household staff. You will see that young woman who kind of pops out. You see she's kind of looking to see if everybody's free, if Broken Dancer might like be alone, so that she go and talk to her again. And you can see that maybe she's written some poetry. You're not sure. But she blushes as she sees you and kind of fades back into the hallway there. But you will go to your master's room and knock and enter.
Delon enters, bows to Peerless Falcon. Master, you wish to see me before retiring for the evening?
Your associates worry me a bit.
How so?
Broken Dancer certainly holds enmity to our order for the failings of her brother.
He was her twin master. Such emotions, I've heard, run deep and long.
I worry that she will attempt to sway you from your chosen path. Has she tried to sway you from your path?
No, she has not.
Would you say that you're saying the truth there, Delon?
He believes so. He would like for her to have done that.
Okay,
but she has been focused in other places, and he does not believe she's actually like done anything like that. He would like for there to have been something there, but he has not seen anything of that nature. So his very cluelessness probably allows him to be a lot more truthful about this. Because while she may have been trying to undermine it, he doesn't get the vibe that he's trying to turn him away from the path. He just takes it as her being suspicious of Peerless Falcon due to the incident with Yin.
When I traveled here, I shadowed you to see if any would target you. I saw your excellent battle at the tavern. I saw your defeat of the vicious bandit Sour Sadness Bear. And your noble choice to bring him here in chains.
Thank you, Master. It was your training that allowed me to triumph over the
I also saw that the one called Casting Blaze had been also following you.
And he looks genuinely surprised.
You did not notice?
I saw there was another traveler who had stopped shortly after I had, but I did not know who it was, and they left during the battle. I had presumed they had fled as the other bandits fled after.
It was no coincidence, and I believe that the Casting Blaze was following you, though I could not speculate on what the reasons would be for someone to follow you who were sent to guard the golden shirt. But on the last point, what do you know of your third friend, the one with the mask?
Oh, Ming. She is also a friend of Broken Dancer, and has shown me nothing but kindness and genuine friendship since we had met.
There is something about her that cannot place it. There's something familiar there. Be very cautious around her. You have been raised in the temple outside of the normal order of things. The nuns keep to their side in training, and the brothers like yourselves keep to the other. To find you in the company of two beautiful women with hidden agendas, I hope that you will have the discipline that is required.
I have your training to guide me, Master. Certainly it shall be enough.
Well, then you will take up your duties tomorrow. Was there anything you wish to speak to me about?
I did have one question. Did you choose to appear after hearing of the activities of this group of thieves called the Thunders? Was that a new revelation that brought you here? Because I had remembered that you had believed that this will be something that could be easily handled by me, even though I'm not Gia, but you seemed to believe before that it was something that I can handle. Is the addition of the Thunders as a threat something new that has drawn you here?
I believe that you could handle arriving and perhaps drawing out and defending yourself if there were those who would reveal their hand, as you did. The Thunders have been lurking in the shadows throughout this process, and I believe that they would come.
So should I attempt to make myself visible and present a distraction or target for them?
No, I think you've arrived, and you will take up your duties guarding the golden shirt, and that will be more than adequate. Gia and I will look to the other matters.
As you say.
You're dismissed.
Thank you, Master. And he bows and departs.
Ming, you said you wanted to leave something in Delon's room, and what would that be?
I just wanted to leave him a note. Says Delon, I know who you really are, and I would like to speak with you about it. And I'm going to not sign my name, but sign the symbol of our family, which is a phoenix. And I'm going to suggest that it is a birthmark that all children of our house have. So,
Of course.
Yeah.
That's not how genetics work, but yes, in the movies.
No,
Yeah.
yes.
Absolutely. I think that is fair. It is an estate, guarded, people watching. So let's have an overcome.
Okay.
Just want to make sure that nobody sees you.
Let's do caution,
Okay.
I think. So we'll roll with Earth. That's an 11.
Oh yeah, you're fine. You are like the wind,
Perfect.
in and out. Plant that. Generally, you can see how Spartan Delon's quarters are. Clearly, the magistrate has been instructed to give him most basic facilities.
Oh, definitely. That rings true with what One-Eyed Ming knows of Delon, of course.
All right. So yeah, you can absolutely do that. Let me check in then with Casting Blaze and Broken Dancer. Casting Blaze, is there anything you wish to do before we bring night to a close?
I think I'm going to sneak back to Zhang Copper's place.
Okay. Absolutely. You can make your way back to that estate. The streets, you'll hear the clapper of the watch moving around, and you will make your way back. You could easily vault the walls, or you could knock and have essentially the person at the gate let you in.
I'll vault the walls just because I don't want to disturb anyone.
Absolutely, just because you don't want to disturb anyone.
Yeah.
So yeah. You make your way in. There's the crackle of some braziers. There are various lanterns that are out lighting the courtyards here. You can see that the servants have cleared the table of the wine and all of the goods and things like that. What are you doing?
Man, I'd only thought about as far as like getting back. I don't really have a plan. I was more just like, I think in my head, part of me was like, I should warn Zhang Copper.
And you get there and you're like,
yeah, because that's about every single time I've come back to this place.
do you want to do a study move maybe?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Because you've arrived here and you kind of want to know what the situation is. You are a little worried. So maybe that seems like a good thing to do.
okay. Really quick, where's the roll for your party?
Oh, let me grab that title. It is Multiply Just Condor. Yep, boop, 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 paste is plain text. There we go.
There we go. Okay. Study. What am I going to study with? Yeah, I'll study with water because that's
Okay.
awareness. And okay. So that's a +2, and that is. All right, that's a 10.
That is a 10. So you have 2 hold to spend on study, plus you have your Smiling Brown Waterer, so you get an additional question.
Oh, yes. Oh, this makes me so happy that I chose that. I was like, I should try and use that move. And now I'm like, oh, this will work out great. So,
And again, so the first 2 hold can be spent on asking questions, learning scale, or declaring a detail.
Okay.
And then you get a free question on top of that.
Okay, cool. I'd like to learn what Zhang Copper's scale is.
Shane Copper's scale is surprisingly high. You will see him there, probably reading in his study there after hours, looking through some scrolls. And his motions, he's he's trained, but perhaps even a little bit better than you remembered. But the other thing is, you'll catch just the faintest glint. He is clearly wearing a golden shirt.
Oh, great. Okay, then my next question is, I will ask a question about Zhang Copper, which is, what does he gain from wearing the golden shirt?
This is it. So you're asking, are you asking why he is wearing the golden shirt, or what is he gaining from wearing the golden shirt?
Ooh, okay. Important distinction. So I think, no, you know what? I'm asking both.
Okay.
I can do that.
What does he gain? Well, he gains the fact that the golden shirt certainly increases his scale, gives him a degree of protection and invulnerability that protects him. Though he plays it being sort of distracted and so on, it's a smart move.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and answer. Yeah.
But the reason he's wearing this is because he set this all up. He's put all the pieces into place that he needs for what he's trying to do, so that he can walk away with the shirt.
Man, if I had one more question, I know what I'd ask, but I'm out. So, I'll just.
Can I have you roll inner conflict before I switch over to?
I believe you should, because this is really just complicated my whole feelings on the matter. Oh boy. Okay, so with inner conflict, that it's been 2 weeks. It's rolling with anything other than my style element.
Absolutely.
So I will roll with water again, because my element is wood, and this is just gonna. Oh boy. Oh. That's a 9.
That is a 9. Now you could if you have a bond you want to burn, you could burn that to get yourself to a 10, and then you wouldn't have to flee or mark a stat.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna burn my bond with the Revealing Moonlight sect.
Okay. So you keep yourself together. You also, because you rolled inner conflict, you get to mark an XP.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to cut from that revelation back over to Broken Dancer. Broken Dancer, anything you wish to do during the course of the evening?
So much I want to do. First, I guess I sort of have to proceed with questions from
please.
Our study before. So who's on watch at the vault tonight?
Tonight, that lieutenant who was very rude to you is on guard.
Is he? What's his scale? Do I know?
He is probably your scale. I think you can judge that. The guards are definitely below collectively hench persons.
Okay.
But he is a named second to the magistrate, and so he has some skill.
Okay, but if they're the same scale, that means theoretically we can take them, correct?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. If they're below your scale, you're most of the time you're going to beat them. Like it's if you fail, then it becomes a little questionable. If they're above your scale, they're going to beat you.
Okay.
But if they're on your scale, that's when we get to the which way is this going to go?
Second question: do we know? Peerless Falcon is in his chambers with his student.
He is in his chambers. You know that at least.
Okay. So then I think the way I'm going to play this for now is I think I want to go drinking with the daughter of the magistrate and get her drunk.
Okay, absolutely. You know what would be an interesting move, perhaps at this point, with this is this you expressing yourself via your art?
Oh, that could be, but I don't know what I would really gain from that. People understand your message, draw interest and attention of one person present. You begin to change popular opinion in your audience. I don't know if that really works here.
No.
I'd like it to, but I don't think it does.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I can just do come drink with me. So I mean, that's
So yeah, absolutely. You can. She is already enraptured with you.
Mhm.
I don't think, and this is Harmonious Fox, I believe.
Yes.
She there's not even a role to do this. You just give her a glance and she's there. Broken Dancer.
Yes. So this is Broken Dancer coming out all in glorious white, so that the moonlight will shine off of her and make her absolutely fantastic, with her hair pulled back nicely, and the goal,
like she has to catch her breath there.
And she's coming, and she's got a tray with several probably bottles that she say, I took the liberty of asking for the servants to bring some nice wine. And I thought it's such a beautiful evening that we might go into the courtyard. And what I'm trying to do is Broken Dancer's trying to get us positioned in a place where she can watch both the entrance basically to the vault to see if anybody gets changed into the guards, and to see if anybody goes into Peerless Falcon's chambers. So to see if the student goes in there.
All right. So I think that is fair. I think you can absolutely get that set up. She hangs on your every word. She drinks. Her cheeks get rosy red very quickly. She asked about how you became such a fabulous dancer, and she's so clumsy when it comes to the art of dance, and you're resplendent, and she's asking about what it is to be a dancer, just trying to learn more about you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'm sure I do put on a little show for her, and this is like red wine with glasses. But since part of the thief move, it takes a thief, I will never spill anything or get anything on my outfit. So this is doing this, and not a drop is spilled as she spins around and does these dramatic half falls and this way and that way, playing like a willow in the wind with the wine, but nothing falls anywhere.
So let's have you roll study, in case we can answer questions, or it might also allow you to establish a detail.
Oh, okay. So this
you want to roll with?
Yes, that's what I'm looking at. I think this is. Oh, I think this is creativity then.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Actually, I guess I was sort of calculating, wasn't I?
It's up to you.
Awareness or wisdom. I'll go with wisdom on this case.
Okay, that is your fighting style stat.
Yep. So this is because I'm dancing. I figured that's actually sort of why. Okay, reroll. So that is an 8.
That is an 8. So you get one hold. You can declare something, or you can ask a question.
Well, let's see. What are the questions? I don't have them right up.
The questions are: you can ask about a person, or you can ask about a situation.
Person or situation.
Yeah. I've left the heavy lifting. I've left out the specific questions that in other PBTA games you might have.
Okay. Or change a detail.
Yeah. If you want to establish something.
Changing the details is so much more interesting. But it would have to relate to her, correct? So
No, you're observing the situation, the scene, right? You're looking at the vault. You're watching the master's chambers. You could tell me what happens.
Oh, then this will happen exactly what I was hoping would happen. So this is when I see the student furtively going into his master's chambers.
Absolutely, there is that, and perhaps even the extinguishing of the lamp after that.
And the setup for this is to try and get a distraction, with the goal being so that now that I've gotten poor Harmonious Fox thoroughly drunk, exactly, to take her to where, pretending that I am also inebriated, I'm going to take her back to her room, but get turned around and actually take her to Peerless Falcon's room.
Interesting.
But it's probably time for a scene change, but that's what the plan is.
All right. Delon, you return to your modest chambers. You go to lay your head down, and Princess in the Peace style, you will realize that there is something underneath your pillow.
He cautiously lifts the pillow.
And there is a note folded.
He slowly unfolds the note, holds it over near the lamp, because there's only one very modest lamp in this chamber.
Yes. Giving off lots of smoke. So you will open it up, and there is the note that One-Eyed Ming left to you with that birthmark sign. Something I assume you've kept pretty quiet.
Yes, I would. And since he was raised in the temple, he's not really sure what it means. He just thought it was an odd birthmark. So he's very puzzled.
Where's the birthmark on you? I mean, we probably see the zoom in on the camera on the note. Do we see the birthmark on camera, or
I think it's over the left part of his chest. Like you see it, like as his nightshirt is open, like it's right there.
Perfect.
Just above his heart.
So what would you do?
Did Ming identify herself in the note?
No.
Oh. He looks around his room. He checks the window, and of course, there's not really a window. So it's,
right.
He's puzzled. I think he adjusts his outfit, puts his clothing back on, and goes out to search around his room and see who could have gotten in or where they could have gotten into.
You have such poor chambers, anybody could have walked in here. Now I forget, Ming, you didn't give any meeting point or time, did you?
No, I had intended to just kind of lay the groundwork so that it was more believable in the future when I approach him in person. I didn't want it to be too surprising because I was afraid I'm afraid Delon won't believe me.
Okay. He takes the note, and I think he suspects it's some sort of trick, especially after his master mentioned that someone would try to mislead him.
Yes.
So I think he burns the note.
Okay. Absolutely. And perhaps a moment the camera lingers on you, kind of being a little worried about that as you kind of drop the last bits of that ash into the brazier there. Ming, you've delivered the note. Is there anything else you're doing before you turn in?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I have a lot to think about tonight.
All right. Then let's come back to Casting Blaze. Casting Blaze, your heart is beating in your chest like a drum after that revelation.
I don't know who to try to tell first. This is... Oh, man. And I was so set on, helping him and everything. And, oh, God, this is the real inner conflict. I may have succeeded, but I'm still
yes.
conflicted inside. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's... Okay. I think I'm gonna try and go talk to Moonsworn Heart.
Okay. So you will go to seek her out.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a first.
that's a study.
Okay, cool. Is this still the same scene?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I've only got the 2 questions, maybe. I'll roll again.
Okay.
And I'm gonna roll with water.
Okay.
Okay, sure. That's a 13.
Yeah, you've got 2 hold. So where is Moonsworn Heart? You will locate her. She is in the bedroom. She is still up. She's brushing her hair. You can tell that she's clearly pensive, like she's clearly worried, about Zheng. The situation. She called you, but you left, and so that is where you find her. So you can tell her that first question is where she's at and what the state is she in. She's certainly in a state of worry right there.
Okay. Can I talk to her for a bit and hold on to my second?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So you can do you enter quietly?
I will enter quietly, but at the same time, I do think I'm going to at least knock as I enter so that I don't surprise her, because now I'm starting to not trust a lot of people. And this is like, what if she whirls around and tries to stab me? I'd rather not.
So she will turn and kind of stand quickly. She is a trained wuxia like yourself, and then she blinks and she will say, "Casting Blaze, you returned."
I have. I met up with some companions that coincidentally were in the area, so I'm glad that I went and met up with them with what was Withering Gaze's disguise's name.
We'll just say Withering Gaze for the moment.
Yeah, okay.
Just use that name.
Yeah, I went off with Withering Gaze, and
she is he is a good friend of Zheng Copper. He and his associates, and they also, like yourself, have pledged to help Zheng. Yeah, raise your eyes, Gong Song.
Thank you. Yes, I will continue to use my sister's name.
Yes.
Yeah. So. And this is a questioning character, so I'm not trying to use my hold.
Sure.
Do you know the specific nature of which Zheng Copper might be in danger?
He has received death threats. I know that he has worked with the magistrate, and they are he is involved in the ceremony of transfer for the golden shirt and the binding of things. I suspect that in that role, he may be under threat.
Who received those death threats? I understand it was directed at him. Who received them?
They arrived at the household.
Okay.
Do you have a suspect?
Oh, man. Oh, God. Yes.
Excellent. Zheng will be pleased. Though I think he still is bothered that I called you. I don't think he wished to put you in danger. He always speaks so highly of you.
Well, I'm sure he speaks highly of many.
Yes, but there is only one Casting Blaze.
Oh, I wish there were 2 right now.
I beg your pardon?
Okay, I'm going to use my second hold.
Okay.
and this is just because before I go any further in this conversation, I have to know. Because I'm not sure how much she's playing into it. Does she know the truth about Jane Copper?
So you're asking me?
Yes.
Okay. No, she has no idea. She
no.
unconditionally loves and adores him. That same naked love that you have had for him.
Oh no. Okay. Oh, this is just gonna. All right. If that's the truth, then I have to tell her. And I'm just gonna look at her straight in the eyes and go, believe me when I say this is the last thing I want to do. But those who are in danger, it's not Jane Copper. He's not the victim, he's the orchestrator.
And ordinarily, for anybody else casting Blaze, saying this, she would immediately dismiss your words. There's no way to convince her of this. But you have a way with words. This is your power. This is your special ability as a roll. Okay? So I'm going to let you roll hearts and minds.
Okay. Yep. Hearts and minds. Okay. So I think it's only fair at this point. I'm going to roll. Yeah, I'm going to roll with water. Wisdom, hopefully. Okay. This is just... Okay, come on. Please. Oh, thank you. That's a 10.
Okay, gosh, I've never more wanted the snake eyes than I did right there.
And I feel opposite, so I'm very happy.
So you see her stop and her eyes go wide, and she'll say, well, you can't be serious. This must be a joke. Tell me you're joking.
I wish more than anything that I was, because ultimately this hurts me as much as it hurts you.
I gave up my position. I gave up my family.
Out of character. I was like, oh man, I was about to say I gave up things too, but nope, I'm not gonna go there.
And she kind of collapses onto the chair, and you see her trying to keep from openly weeping in front of you.
Oh man, I'll attempt to just take a seat next to her and attempt to calm her and just say, believe me, I wish that this was not the case, but I have seen the truth through my own eyes, and ultimately I wish that we could simply just confront him like this. But for the sake of seeing where this goes, neither of us can tell him. Neither of us can seem like we know.
I don't know if I can do that.
I don't know if I can either.
Cut. And so I think that that this is going to be a challenging thing to do. You've got all the pieces in place. Broken Dancer, let's have you do this. I think it overcome. Does that seem right?
Sure.
Get her in, all that stuff. Doesn't have anything bad happen. You walk her through the halls, and she's like, I think we're supposed to go. This is maybe over this way.
And since because of the move that I can keep anybody's attention, I don't think it'll be an issue for me to lure her closer to Peerless Falcon's doorway. And then since I'm probably still carrying the tray, pretending to be very demure, especially as a guest in somebody else's house, which might not be appropriate, but let's assume that she took that position. And then say, no, I'm very certain that this is the correct. This is my room, I believe. But could you help me with the door?
Why don't you roll overcome? What do you want to roll with?
Let's see. We don't have anything that says deceitful.
Calculation.
I guess that would be it, wouldn't it? Unless it's creativity, but I think it's probably calculation at this point. Oh, that's +2. Okay. Wait, did I read that wrong? I'm probably looking the wrong one. I don't think.
Yeah. I think your metal is 0.
Yeah, my metal's a 0. There we go. That's right. Nope. That's a 5.
That is a 5. So you will throw open that door and kind of stumble in. And you're very pleased with yourself, right? There is motion in the room, and you will see Harmonious Fox, her neck twist, and she drops to the floor. And you see Gia standing there like you've intruded, and he has reflexively struck and killed her. What do you do?
I drop the wine, and it does a slow motion fall. It's slow motion falling, and we see it crash, and then it starts to spatter up. But at that moment, Broken Dancer is turning and wailing, "He killed her! He killed her!" and running back through the house. "He killed her! He killed Harmonious Fox! How could he do that?"
Let us see. So I think that let me think here. I think the hard move is already done. So he is not going to immediately pursue. But let's cut to Delon. You'll hear these voices come screaming past your door.
I think Delon stumbles out, he's basically thrown on a garment, and he has a sword in his hand. What has happened? And he sees.
You see Broken Dancer.
He rushes over to her and tries to catch her and stop her. Says, "What has happened?"
Harmonious Fox and I accidentally went. We got confused and we went into Peerless Falcon's room and Zhao killed her.
What?
He killed Harmonious Fox. There was no reason. It was a mistake. She didn't mean to go into his room.
And we can hear the rousing of the household at this point. And the sort of the gathering of figures there and screaming. I assume that you're also awoken by this Ming.
Oh yeah.
And we'll see Delon and Dancer engaged in this conversation.
I definitely go over to them. I mean, how could I not, right? Especially with Broken Dancer, my colleague, looking very upset. So I'll stride up quickly, kind of rub my eyes. What is going on? What is the meaning of this? So much commotion.
Broken Dancer has said that Gia had struck down Harmonious Fox. We must go to the room. We must see what has occurred, and we must confront this.
Can I? Oh, go ahead, casting, please.
I was just going to go ahead and say, right here is where I'm going to use "Have Sword Will Travel."
Okay, so you are on scene as this tableau, as this conversation goes on.
Perfect.
Can I study Delon's face real quick
Sure.
to see if he read the note or try to? Let's see. So if I have the check mark, does that mean I take a penalty, or I can't roll with that?
You can't roll with that stat, so
Okay.
you need to use another thing.
Okay, I'm gonna choose fire then, since
Okay.
this is a moment of passion. That's 8.
Okay. So you have one study. You can. Is your question, has Delon read it?
Yes.
Okay. Then yeah, you can see the lines and furrows of another matter weighing on him, I assume.
Okay, perfect. That's all I want to know for now. But I'm yes. Let's go to the room.
And as the four of you head back, of course, you will see that there are guards. The magistrate has been awoken. The lieutenant is there. No one is guarding the vault, and they're all here. And you will see Peerless Falcon meditating in the middle of his room, and Gia is there. His he is seated and his head bowed. And he is conversing right now. The Peerless Falcon is conversing with the magistrate, and the magistrate is certainly upset. But Peerless Falcon is saying that he and Gia were meditating, and they were listening to await any potential assassins or criminals when the door came open and Gia struck at what he thought was an attack. And that is what is going on right now. And the magistrate is more distraught than anything. And the lieutenant is there and also upset, but looking around with general suspicion. Delon?
I think Delon steps into the room and approaches. I think he approaches Gia first. Gia, what has happened? I heard cries.
An attack upon the master, and I defended him, but it was not.
Is Harmonious Fox's is her body still there?
They have moved her off, and they have put a cloth over her. The magistrate is trying to keep himself together and kind of gritting his teeth here.
I think Delon looks into Gia's eyes, and he's trying to figure out, like, is Gia being straight with him here? Is this?
That seems like a study to me.
So let me try that. Let's see. Let's see, with study, I think I'm going to go with metal on this one, so as just a matter of reflection, like he's looking and trying to figure this out. That'll be a 10.
So you have 2 hold.
Okay. And I think I'm going to reveal a detail here.
All right. What is the detail?
As he's gazing at and speaking to Gia, he notices that Gia is dressed as though to travel. Like, he is not wearing what you would expect him to wear if he was sleeping in a in a room, or even guarding someone inside a household.
Okay.
He's dressed in traveling garb underneath, like he's thrown a cloak over his shoulders, but he's against maybe the chill, but he's wearing traveling clothes. He has his boots on, and I think Delon notices that and is puzzled by it.
And what do you use your second hold for?
I think given this situation, I want to he wants to know what they were actually doing.
It looks to you like your master had called in Gia to brief him on a special assignment, that he was sending Gia out, and they were interrupted in the midst of this, and that Gia, out of protectiveness for what they were speaking of, struck at the person who entered the room.
And I think
that is what was going on.
Okay. I think he's puzzled as to what this other assignment might have been, but he will note those things and step away and look very disturbed and thoughtful.
And a Peerless Falcon will say, Magistrate Bao, you and I should speak. And Bao will nod. There's Peerless Falcon clearly kind of pulls rank here, and you're not sure what that's about, but it looks like he's going to, like, Peerless Falcon and Magistrate Bao are going to speak. The household staff are moving to remove Harmonious Fox from the scene. Broken Dancer.
Broken Dancer continues wailing, wipes her tears, and breaks into the vault to steal the fake shirt.
Okay, absolutely. Tell me what that looks like. What is it? What do we see on panel, on screen? How do you get through the vault while everyone else is occupied?
Well, they're perfectly distracted, as I understand it. So this is, and she'll like give off a couple of wails and probably have her assistant, because with the, what is it, dressed like a king?
Oh yeah,
there's an assistant, and so her assistant will now be doing the wailing off in her room with the door barred, and she will, she'll have set that up, and she will probably do something along the lines of, hopping from wall to wall along the ceiling so that she's not very visible, and go into the corridor with the vault and go down. And I have no idea what these vaults would be like. So it's hard for me to imagine how she would
imagine
get in.
There's probably some big things. It's not exactly a lock, but there's some big things that you have to lift up that take time and couldn't do with a guard there. And you will get those open, pull it in, step in. There's some other beautiful pieces in here too.
Sure. And so I picture the way that she probably actually manages to get it open is she's like bouncing and accelerating, like pushing herself harder and harder in that very slow motion sort of dramatic way, and probably getting like little piths of like dust at each touch as she does this. And she's, she hits the vault and causes it to open somehow with minimal noise, but she is a master thief.
Absolutely.
And then she sneaks in, and she's got the little trail of her white her white dress as she goes in, grabs the shirt and something beautiful, of course, something else, because this can't all be for naught.
Absolutely. Let me ask you a question. When you leave the vault, are you leaving signs that it has been broken into or not? I'm sorry, I didn't catch what you said.
Yes, most definitely.
So you are. Okay, sorry, it was an either or. Okay, so yes, you are. Okay, all right. Let me come back to Ming and Blaze then. Seeing this chaos and this hubbub, and Delon has come out of the room and looks. He is clearly, his brow is clouded.
I think I'll look at Delon and say, I think I'll just kind of. I think I'll probably have to study him to just be like because I want to. No, actually, I'm just basically going to ask him point blank, what do you think of this?
I think he looks up and he says, I spoke to Gia, and he indicated that he simply reacted upon instinct upon someone entering their room without it being announced. He overreacted. I sense no deception in him. I did not get the sense that he meant for this to happen.
What about your teacher?
I did not get the chance to speak with him about this, as he wished to confer with the magistrate, which is appropriate given that the magistrate's daughter was slain in this.
Certainly, no. I fully appreciate the delicateness of that matter. I'm more asking, do you think, given what Gia was doing there,
and he looks.
I guess
said,
Go ahead.
I think he mentions, like, as you said, she was there. He was preparing to depart. I'm not sure why he was prepared to depart, but he was dressed for travel.
Didn't he just get here?
Yes, that my understanding was they had both just arrived.
I wonder, where's Broken Dancer?
I thought she fled to her room. I still hear her wailing.
Yeah,
I still hear her wailing. She was with Harmonious Fox when this horror occurred. When this tragedy.
I'm gonna go check on her, and I'll go to her room.
Okay, let me then give us a moment here with One-Eyed Ming and Delon. You finally have a little bit of space. The people are move to take the body away. There are some guards outside as the magistrate confers with a Peerless Falcon. You can hear the wailing of Broken Dancer in the distance that Casting Blaze is going to look at, but you have your brother here who seems like his soul is in turmoil.
Talon, what do you think Peerless Falcon will do with Gia?
I don't know. This is a tragedy, and certainly the magistrate will be distraught and will. I cannot conceive of a situation where he would not wish for an inquiry to be had into the matter. But I cannot believe Gia would have willfully slain an innocent girl. That certainly was not the case. It was a horrible tragedy and the most terrible sort of accident.
So you truly believe it was an accident?
I do. I do not believe he wished to slay Harmonious Fox. I could see no deception in his reaction to that.
Well, I have to tell you that I don't fully trust Fearless Falcon, and I hate to bring this up with you now.
This is a. I understand your distrust, and I'm sure it's due to the unfortunate incident with our companion, Broken Dancer's brother Yen, and but he is a good man. He has trained me well during my time at the temple, and I it seems a terrible time to bring something like this up when this sort of tragedy has occurred.
Well, did you know that he has trained you for a purpose which I don't believe you would want to embark upon?
He has trained me to be a member of the Great Sun Society, to defend the weak and shine the light of the sun upon all who deserve its grace.
Oh, Delon, you have such a good heart. But Peerless Falcon has trained you to be a weapon, not a shield. And I think if that one-eyed Ming takes off her eye patch, and she has the same phoenix tattoo right below her eye, and just stares Delon straight in the face.
Inner conflict.
There we go.
He stammers and steps and takes a step back as his eyes widen. Let's see what else happens. Let's see. If I remember right, the inner conflict is just a straight roll.
It is a roll with whatever stat you want, except for your fighting stat.
Okay. I'm thinking he's trying to wrestle with a sudden surge of confusion and passion. So I'm thinking this is probably going to be fire.
Okay.
That is a 12.
So you keep it together. So much of what has been said tonight rings true.
I think Delon just he steps back and he looks down and then he looks back up at you and at the Phoenix and he says, "You left that note. What is this? What is this story you have to tell?"
I did leave this note. I've been seeking you for a very long time. The whole reason I joined.
We have met. We met months, a year ago. I mean, why only now do you speak to me of this?
I did not know at the time that you are my brother.
And now he's really.
Yep.
The whole reason I joined the Revealing Moonlight sect was to gather this information, and I've been hiding and serving them this whole time just to track you down. And finally, I've found you. The fact that we crossed paths previously was just serendipitous.
And we will hear some shouting coming from the vault. Even as the magistrate comes out, somewhat ashen, the lieutenant is standing there. Magistrate has that look of a man who has done a deal with the devil. And he will turn to the lieutenant and he says, "Lieutenant," and he points to Delon and he points to One-Eyed Ming, who was standing there, and he said, "Arrest these two, find the others that are with them." And then we hear the shouting from the vault that kind of draws everyone's attention. And then we go to the 5-minute break. And we will be right back.
Never be too invested. It's impossible.
I will tell you, when we got to the end of the quarterly we did of this, that was with the showdown, because Jerry killed Patrick at the end of the 12 sessions in a PvP thing, and it was pretty awesome. Because his arc had gone from naive to corrupted over the course of 12 sessions. It was great. By the way, I want to mention this. If you haven't listened to it, the newest episode of Zhang Hu Hustle, the podcast, is out. They're covering the movie Dragon, which is where I got the idea of having a hidden character. And it's one of the best wuxia movies out there. They have a double feature of it with 14 blades you can get on Amazon for about $16 on Blu-ray. Absolutely worth watching. So that's my pick of the week. There we go. So, Broken Dancer, you've got the shirt. You are making your way back.
I'm making my way back to Zhao's room to hide the shirt in his room.
Absolutely. You're doing that even as you're heading there. You hear the magistrate say, and you can see, arrest One-Eyed Ming, arrest Delon, find the others, arrest them. What do you want to do?
I want to hide the shirt. Since he's dressed for travel, I assume there might be a travel bag. I want to shove it into the travel bag, and then come running out of the room wailing so that my assistant hears my wailing and stops wailing herself.
All right. So you will do that. I'm going to come back to Delon and Ming in a second. Casting Blaze, you are heading to Broken Dancer's room, and then you hear that wailing stop, and another cry take up from another direction.
So at that point, the minute I hear that it's coming from another direction, internally, I just go, all right. So I think I've sort of pieced something together. And at this point, because I know that earlier in the evening, we'd had the conversation about trying to get the shirt, I'm going to basically figure that, I have an idea of what's currently happening. Not the specifics, just I know what's starting to go down. And at that point, I think that I'm going to... This is just the night of pinball for me, or Pong, where I'm just going to go right back to Zhang Copper's place. Because...
So you're taking off and heading over the walls to get out of here?
Yeah.
Okay, then I think I need you to make an overcome, because the guards have been sent to capture you.
Oh, yes, of course they have. And by of course they have, I mean, this is probably going to be the point where my rolls fail me. So I'm going to go ahead and roll with...
Unless... Now, hang on, I want to say this. You've got the imposter.
I do. And I know who I'm going to try to... Okay. Let me fully read this so I know what I can do. Oh man, if I'm impersonating someone specific. Oh, okay.
You could look like a guard. You could.
I think I'm just going to look like a guard. Yeah.
So I'm going to say you have that move. I don't think you need to roll then. You can slip out with the guards. They're, watermelon, and you can hit out the door and we'll see you then. And then take off for Zhang Coppers.
Great.
Delon, One-Eyed Ming, the lieutenant, graven face, turns, and it looks like the lieutenant and these guards are going to attempt to capture you and, you guess, put you in shackles.
Delon looks confused and really mortified. He says, "Magistrate, what is the meaning of this?"
Surrender.
"I cannot. This is madness."
I believe it's our right to know why you are arresting us before the arrest happens.
You have no rights. And seize them.
Okay.
I do.
I think I would like to do Kid with the Golden Arm
Okay.
to try to destroy the ground in front of us and act as a distraction.
Like knock down the hall ceiling kind of thing. And
yes.
Okay. Then let me have you roll, and then I want you to tell me what that looks like.
Okay. I am going to... I'm going to roll with metal. 9.
9. So on 79, you do it, or you can mark chi and have it be spectacular.
I don't think I can risk marking chi, and this was kind of a wing it type of situation, so I'm just gonna...
So what does it look like? How do you strike? What do you strike that brings that down?
I think I actually raise up my one leg and one fist and punch the ground, and it sends a little shock wave out in front of me, and then one of the columns that was holding up the eave crumples, and that side just collapses.
Yeah. So you will see that Delon kind of standing there, and you see your sister do this strike and bring down the eaves and cuts you off from these people who were coming to capture you.
He looks at her amazed, and he says, What is going on? What is...
I have no idea, but I'm not letting them take either of us. Not now.
No, let us leave. Something has happened to the magistrate. Something is terribly, terribly wrong. I think he may have captured my master. He starts running. He starts moving like he's going back to.
You'll have to go through them to get to your master.
Delon, let us first find Broken Dancer and regroup, and then we can discuss this, please.
Hearts and minds?
Yeah, I can try hearts and minds.
They'll at least force Delon to think. And let's get that world resolved, and we're going to put where Broken Dancer is at.
Okay. I think I'm going to have to roll with fire again. Ooh, 3.
And you are like, you need to go, and you will feel this something hit you across your back, and you will have to mark that chi that you just rolled, and you will see that young man that you saw earlier this evening who came with Casting Blaze. They are here with a couple of their friends, clearly like they strike you down, knock you down. All right. So Broken Dancer, what you will see is you'll hear this and you realize the situation has changed. You see guards are looking for you. You're running back towards that, and you'll see the magistrate send the people after Delon and Ming, and then Ming brings down this eaves. And you're like, okay, good, they're going to get away. But then you see Ming trying to stop Delon from going. And then out of nowhere come this trio that cut down Ming from behind. What do you want to do, Broken Dancer?
So where's the magistrate in relation to?
So the magistrate is kind of caught. He and the lieutenant and the people are caught behind the falling eaves.
On my side, or am I somewhere where I see both sides?
I assume right now you're actually on the side where you see Delon and Ming.
Oh, okay.
The magistrate probably can't even see you from because of the eaves that have fallen.
Okay. So I see those three approaching. That they've attacked Ming.
They popped up, and that one that came with Casting Blaze has actually brought their sword out and struck Ming.
Wailing stops, and no, wailing continues. And she keeps running towards them, saying, "What chaos? What chaos? What's going on here? I don't understand what's going on here." Trying to draw their attention to her, acting as the totally panicked, dancer, basically. Somebody that the fragile artist type.
Absolutely. So I think that certainly you can draw their attention. That'll give space for Delon and Ming to act, and we'll see what they're going to do. Delon, Ming was trying to pull you back, and then you hear the cry as she goes down, and you'll see this trio of people.
Is it? I don't think Delon ever saw them, if I remember right.
You saw this person, Withering Gaze, as Razor Eyes Gong Sung was briefly with Casting Blaze earlier this evening. These other two you don't know.
Okay. And he just saw them, right? He wasn't introduced, so he doesn't know what the names are.
Correct.
Okay. I think he interposes himself between Ming and them and says, "That was a blow you will regret."
All right. So you want to engage them?
Yes.
Okay. Ming, it looks like your compatriot is going to take on three at once.
I cannot let that happen, obviously.
Okay.
Do I see Broken Dancer yet?
Yeah. She's come rushing up and has drawn their attention to give you a moment to recover.
I think I'm going to take the time to throw off dramatically the traveling cloak and the eye patch and remove my hidden tag.
Ooh.
And so doing that allows me to choose a role from a different playbook. And I think I'm going to pick Swordsman.
Okay.
So I'm going to take up my spear and charge in, to take a look at Broken Dancer, wink, and then charge in beside Delon.
Okay. So we've got, I want to set this up, and then I want to come to Casting Blaze. Essentially, we have Withering Gaze. You see she's got the long, thin saber, and she certainly turns to face you. There's another figure with a three-section staff, and the third one seems to have some kind of chain whip, and those two are certainly going to move on you, Delon. You have the sense that the other person wants Ming, but these two are going to try and face you one-on-one. Now, my question is, Broken Dancer, what do you want to do? Do you want to engage with that? Do you want to get out of here?
To determine somebody's scale, we have to do a study.
Yes.
Then I think, since Broken Dancer is still sort of far away, but she's probably doing some dramatic sort of leaping to get into this, I think what she's doing at this point is, sizing them up.
Okay. So go ahead and make a study move, and you can make your decision based on that.
Let's see. What would I roll with? Awareness, wisdom. I think this is actually water. I think this is awareness, wisdom, flexibility.
Okay.
I think it's awareness and wisdom. And that makes it a 10.
Okay. So you get 2 hold.
And can you remind me what the 2 hold do? Or
You could ask a question about a person. You could ask a person about a situation. You could declare a fact, or you can learn their scale with one of those hold.
One of them I want to learn the scale.
So what you'll see is if those 2 together go after Delon, then they will be above his scale because they know how to fight alongside one another.
Okay.
If you can split them, if taken individually, those 2 are on your scale. The third one is also on Ming's scale, on your scale, but you have the sense, you have the feeling like that person is after Ming particularly.
Okay.
So what you want to do?
With that, so I can also change a detail. Can the detail be anything? Can the detail be something about another player character?
Do you, well, what would we can negotiate that. What are you thinking?
Can this be, and I was chatting about this with Casting Blaze, but if Casting Blaze is having second thoughts about running off, having heard the conflict that's going on and realizing that he has abandoned his friends, maybe the detail changes that.
That when we see these group of guards coming around to also help with this fight, that Casting Blaze is in the middle of them.
They're in the nick of time. If Casting Blaze wants it, that's what I would make it if Casting Blaze wants it.
Yeah, you'll see that because you're like, oh shit, here come all of these other guards, and then Casting Blaze. How do you reveal yourself to draw them?
So I think that I ended up directly in the center of the guards, and when all the guards sort of fan out, I happen to be directly in the center, so I stand in the middle as the guard, and then I just kind of, as they all draw their spears, I draw mine, but it doesn't have a spearhead on it because it's my staff.
Nice.
And then, I just wink at whoever's paying attention.
So we've got you dealing with the guards. We've got Ming fighting against Withering Gaze. Tell me, Delon, there's a 3-section staff warrior and a warrior with this chain whip. Which one do you want to engage with? Because certainly Broken Dancer coming into the scene is going to draw the other one.
I think, and Crystal can let me know if he thinks this would work. I think the guy with the 3-part staff is moving in closer, and the one with the chain whip is trying to get some distance so he can wield the chain whip against me more effectively. And that's who Dancer catches as she's running up from behind.
That sounds perfect. So let's go. Let's resolve Casting Blaze, and then Delon, and then Broken Dancer, and then Ming. And let's walk through those things. So you pop out in the midst of these guards that are clearly hell-bent on arresting your friends. And when you fight troops, you get to roll with your style element.
All right. I will do that. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's a 12.
So tell me how you take them out. Describe to me how you take them out easily.
Okay. Basically, they all end up... they're so focused, and when they start fanning out, it ends up kind of being in this sort of half circle, and I just kind of laugh to myself because I'm like, Seriously? Okay. And then I just kind of take, like, as they're, like, positioned, ready to, like, you know, fight off against who they think they're going to fight off against, I just take a few steps forward, literally take my staff out, and do, like, a full sweep, like, on the ground. And I trip every single one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. They're unaware, and it hits hard, and they will go flying, knocked over as you send them scattering here. You hear the groans as they all hit the ground there, the clattering of weapons as they are knocked to the ground. Yeah. Delon, this warrior, and you'll see shifts, and you can see that it has this like lightning bolt kind of tattoo there on the collarbone, and you see the clack, this clatter of the sort of the thunderous sound of the 3-section staff as this one comes in to get you. So this foe is on your scale.
Okay. I think as Delon notices the tattoos, he reasons that this must be one of the Thunders, and he says, "Very well. Come, make your noise, and see how the sun breaks apart the storm."
Ooh, nice. All right.
And I think my style element is metal. So I'll roll with metal. And that is 11.
Okay. So he starts, and at first you've got a set of space that he is suddenly in occupying. I mean, he's able to move that staff, break it, set, he pushes back on you, kind of knocks you back a few feet. He's got that essentially that staff is flexible, and you've got your Jean, and he's able to kind of make his way around it. But then you turn the tide. Tell me how that looks. How do you turn that? What happens?
And I think again, this is like classic yielding sun tactic. He comes in, he's moving in close. I'm pulling back as though I am unable to counter, and he attempts to go too quickly. He approaches too close to the sun and is burned for it. So, like, he starts to swing the staff around, attempting to get some momentum for a strike that he thinks will end me, and that strike misses as the sword slices underneath and basically slashes across the arm that had been holding the base end of the 3-part staff for that big swing, and the staff clatters to the floor as he holds his gashed arm.
But not killing him?
Not killing him right now.
Mark XP. Broken Dancer. This figure that has the chain whip locked between the arms. It's kind of moving up to attack, and then you come in. Tell me what that looks like.
So is this a lighted area?
Yeah, they're probably lanterns.
Okay. So actually, then I think as she's closing the distance, she's actually sort of hopping from wall to wall and taking out the lanterns so that it's dark, so that all that's left is the moonlight flashing off of her white outfit and her metallic fan, because that is her primary weapon, is the metallic fan. So as she closes in, hopping back and forth, she's using the fan to distract, and then at the last minute, she's going to do a slide up to catch him unawares and come up under him and slice him with the fan.
And as you come in, it is hard because this person, this chain is like a striking viper. It's in and out. Even as you're coming in, the blade that's on the tip of it cutting past you, and then you come in. Let's have you roll. Let's see if you do it.
I'm with water. Oh no, oh wait, that's a 7.
That is a 7. So on a 7 to 9, this foe is on your scale. You can win at a cost. You mark chi, and that can be any chi. They escape. You lose face or some other cost.
I'll mark chi.
Okay. Which chi do you want to mark?
Let's see. What are the supposed repercussions for this? I want to mark metal.
Okay. Excellent.
Oh, actually, I take that back. I'll mark wood because
Yeah.
I like the one that it's overconfident and angry.
Yeah. You're probably kind of enraged at this point. And what is this? What is the finishing cut that you do on this chain whip wielder?
So sliding under him, the finishing cut will be, I'll slide under and I'll be slashing his groin basically. And then as I come up on the other side, I imagine it'll be, oh, that was also in my character sheet. So she has knives in like her shoes.
Yeah.
So she's sliding under and she does one of those amazing gymnast kicks and smashes him up the backside of his head.
Oh yeah, catch them in the blood and they'll stagger forward. And the sound of the chains hitting the ground as it grabs and just crashes to the ground.
And one final detail. So
yes.
All the blood spatters are slow motion going by her and not touching any bit of her uniform, of what she's wearing.
Walk between the blood drops.
Exactly.
That is perfect. And Withering Gaze, saber is fast, super fast, in, around. Your spear is up. You can tell that she's planned, practiced. There's that moment when you kind of bring your spear up to block and she does that hit with it where the sword wraps around it and bends and slaps you, like she's ready for that. And she, the cuts she gets past, you probably have the nicks on you from that. And she smiles and she will throw off the hat and say, I am going to have my vengeance on you, Ming, this day. How do you turn the tide, Ming?
Throughout the fight, I'm just staring at Withering Gaze, trying to figure out why there's so much hatred. But I say to them, I don't care who you are or why you're here. Nothing will get in the way of this day that I've waited so long for. And I think I've been using the spear like you were saying, and finally the red tassel at the end of the spear has been spinning so fast it lights on fire. And I kind of, at the last second after I've ducked under her blade, I stab the spear into the ground, the butt end of it, to throw myself up. And then in the signature move of the Diving Phoenix clan, come back down with a flaming spear, like.
And let's see if it lands.
Yes. All right. That is a 11.
So it is glorious. Tell me, what does that look like?
I think it comes down, and I think because of how much passion Ming has at this moment to finally have been reunited and not to want anything to get in the way, I think the flaming spear just almost burns through Withering Gaze from behind, and
catches her, goes through. We see that the flame has been extinguished by going through her blood, and you've got that sort of sizzle of the tip of the spear as it hits the ground. And she was kind of trying to turn, and you come down at that slight angle, and she is pinioned, and she kind of spins herself on the spear, and she's, I will have my, and she'll slide down and crash to the ground.
I think Ming sighs and leaves the spear there, like wobbling, stuck in the ground.
Casting Blaze, you look up and you see Ming kill your sister.
I don't have context for this.
Is this inner conflict, or are you separated enough from your sister that?
No, this is inner conflict. I think even in the moments where she disguised herself as Razor Ice, and I was like actually kind of talking a bit about myself, I was thinking after all of that we would, maybe find some time to reconnect. And now
What do you
I'm gonna.
with?
Oh God. Okay, so this is anything. Okay. Yeah.
Anything but wood.
Okay. Let me look at my. I'll roll with fire. I've been rolling with water all night. I gotta roll with fire.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, come on. That's an 11.
Zhang is, you're still her, and the fact that Moonsworn Heart, you've left her on her own trying to keep up this act.
Oh no. Okay.
This is going down. Oh my God. And you'll cry for your sister later.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. And in that moment, I think with everyone sort of dealt with, things turn out better when I loop people in. So I'm just going to look around at sort of the chaos that we've caused and just shout to the others, we need to get to Zheng Coppers now.
Ming, you hear that?
I run up to Casting Blaze and clap a hand on
I
Blaze's
immediately pull away. Like, I may be good and not running, but we're having words later.
I'm sorry. I just was going to say thank you for your help and anything you need without question.
We'll talk.
Who is Jane Copper?
I wish I knew.
So, Casting Blaze, Ming, they're taking off to from here. Delon
is like looking back towards his master's room because he still can't conceive of that his master has turned on him with this. He thinks the magistrate has gone mad and has taken everybody prisoner in a mad fury over the death of his daughter. That's what's going through Delon's head.
Okay.
And he keeps going back and forth like, but you.
Really quick, just I'm gonna repeat what I said for Christo's sake. After the battle was beautifully finished, I basically shouted to everyone, "We need to get to Zheng Coppers now."
With no explanation?
I'm a little bit kind of shaken up right now. Explanations are forthcoming on the way. Like, I will explain while moving, but also, hey, my sister just died.
I think Broken Dancer. So, do we have more guards coming at us or something like that?
You guys have a moment to decide whether you're leaving or staying to face this.
I think
and Ming and Casting Blaze are heading to Zhang's.
Okay, then I think Broken Dancer has to call out the magistrate. So I think this might be if the magistrate. What is Dylan doing though?
I think right now Delon is torn. Like his friends obviously need help, but he's not sure what's happened to his master or his fellow students. So
Then Broken Dancer will not leave Dylan.
Okay, so we're going to split things then. I'm just saying that's what's going to happen here if you do that.
Yes.
So, okay. So you two are going to take off for Zhang's. Okay, and we will see you rush through the streets. I need you to make an inner conflict roll on that, Broken Dancer.
Inner conflict because
you're not going to help Zhang, who you love.
but I'm going to help Dylan, who. Well, actually, I sort of am trying to, but okay, I'll go with it. I'll say I'm definitely conflicted by all of this.
Sure.
If
What do you want to roll with?
nothing else, I'm conflicted by the fact that Harmonious Dancer was killed by that bastard.
What do you want to roll with?
Yeah. So wait, since it's marked, I can't roll with wood, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Well, that doesn't fit anyway. So I think this wants to be. Oh, okay. So how am I doing this? I think this needs to be cool. Control. Focus. I think it's Earth.
Okay, let's have you roll.
Oh, what am I doing? I've got the roll for your party. +1. And that's a 10.
That is a 10. So you will keep yourself together. Casting Blaze, what are you telling Ming on the way?
So I'm trying to give the Spark Notes version that the reason I was brought here was to protect Jin Copper. His lover, Moonsworn Heart, brought me here. I'm good friends with both of them. I'm going to specifically leave out the part where he is the person that I'm deeply in love with and going to ignore that part because that's going to overcomplicate things. Basically, I'm going to go and, of course, repeat the bit about the fact that Jin Copper has the real shirt. But I'm going to also reveal that all of what is happening this evening and the whole day was predetermined, planned. And he's the one that's planned all of this. So I don't know if the thing with Peerless Falcon is connected to it. I'm guessing it is, but I'm thinking that if we're going to deal with any of this, then we need to cut off the head.
I'm behind you 100%. I don't fully understand what is going on, but I'm here to support you.
Thank you. That is what I am going to say. Oof.
And what do you want to do when you get to Jane Copper's?
First thing first, I need to go check on Moonsworn Heart because my gut is telling me she's either okay or we're about to walk into an ambush.
So I think you will come in and you rush to her chambers, and she's not there.
I shouldn't have left, but I should have, but I did. Okay. I'm going to go to the dining room.
Go to that central hall area.
Yeah.
You two will walk there, and you can see that the lights are on, and you can see that Zhang Copper is there, along with some other people. I'm going to cut from you two. Krista, are you back, or are you getting your food? Or both?
Yep, both.
Sorry. So yeah, the guards are out in force. They've been instructed to arrest you two, and they are coming your way. The magistrate and his lieutenant have pushed their way past those awnings. They see the bodies laying in the courtyard, and they are coming for you.
Delon says, I must get to my master. The magistrate has obviously gone mad after the death of his daughter. We have to put a stop to this.
And I think Broken Dancer probably reaches forward and puts a hand on your shoulder, not in a forceful way, but in just sort of a hold on a second minute, and in a projecting theatrical voice, calls out to the magistrate, "Magistrate, what are you doing? Zhao stole the golden shirt. Zhao killed your daughter. What are you doing? Why would you think that we would be involved in this when we saved your daughter from brigands?" I think I'm trying to do hearts and minds, maybe.
Okay, let's have you roll.
If that's what that is. Does that sound like that's what I did?
You're trying to get him to answer you. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to persuade him. Is really sort of what I'm trying to do.
He is not going to be susceptible to those words right now.
So then what would hearts and minds get me?
If you want to get an action or a reaction or an answer out of him.
Oh, well, at least I'll find out what's going on, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot to say what I was rolling with. It's a 9. So what was that? I was in a passion flee. What does that make it? It's not wood. It's not really water. Unless, well, it could be. I guess it could be water if I'm trying to be wise and persuade. Is calculation logic? Is that what we're looking at?
It can be. I mean, these are approaches, so it depends on how you feel about that.
Okay, I think this is water more.
Yeah.
So
So
that makes it an 11.
You will shout that out, and you see the magistrate looks at his lieutenant, looks at his men, and he says, "I will not lose the rest of my family. I am sorry you walked into the middle of this. But to keep everyone else safe, I must obey the great sun, and you two need to be arrested."
The sun will not witness such injustice. I know not what you're talking about. And in the moonlight, the moon shows how innocent we are in our purity. And she'll she'll spread herself broadly as she says this. And, the moonlight should be reflecting off of her white clothing to make the point all the more. And if she spreads her fan, maybe it's a fan that could actually go around in a full circle. So she got a little moon in her hand, basically, to emphasize that more.
Delon, what are you doing? The magistrate has said that he's acting under the orders of the Great Sun Society.
You are mad. The Great Sun Society would do no such thing.
He says, your master threw you to the dogs.
No. Why would he do such a thing? And I think this is probably setting off another inner conflict for him, I think.
Okay. I think this probably be the last one of that particular sequence.
Yeah. So, this is it. If he holds it together, he's going to come to that revelation, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I'm thinking this is probably going to be. I think this is probably going to be. It can't be metal. So I'm guessing it's probably going to be fire because he's trying to deal with these surging passions within himself.
Absolutely.
And master them. That'll be a 10. Okay.
You keep it together.
And I think he looks, and this cloud of fury passes over his face, which he drags back down, and he looks at the magistrate and says, Broken Dancer is right. The sun will not witness this injustice. I will bring the sun's light into all of this, and you will see. And then he motions to Dancer and he says, let us flee this place and bring justice with the morning.
I think you guys have held here long enough that you're going to have to do an overcome to get out of here unscathed. Only one of you has to roll. I don't want to have both of you roll, but so one of you should roll.
Christo, you want to do it or you want me?
I think in this particular case, because of all the entanglements with your master and the magistrate, I think it's actually better if you do, and I support.
Okay. All right. I'm thinking that at this stage, in order to get out, I'm thinking we're going to try and make use of speed. So I'm thinking this is going to be fire as well.
Okay.
And that's a 10.
That is a 10. And what does that look like? How do you lighten us out of here?
Oh, I think what he does is, there was this festival area that had been set up outside in this yard where we had been battling the guards earlier. And there are all these tents set up and little pavilions for various activities. And I think as the guards start to approach, I think he basically steps forward, 2 quick slashes, and the tent falls on the guards as they try to surround them. And then we both leap over the walls and we're gone.
Excellent.
And he says, where is Zheng Copper's place?
And I cut back to the chambers. We see Zheng Copper standing there, his shirt now open to reveal the golden shirt, glistening, caught by the lights here, standing there. You will see that on the ground near his seat, you will see Moonsworn Heart lying on the ground. But you'll see these other 2 figures turn, figures that you both know very well, and you will see Peerless Falcon and Ja are there. There's a third one they have with them, but he's standing somewhat to the back and a little more chagrined and not sure what's going on. And only Casting Blaze will recognize him as a Sour Sadness Bear. And Zheng Copper goes, my friend Casting Blaze.
Odd choice of words.
Always been my friend.
I respected you for so long. I adored you.
You loved me. I know.
Of course you did. Of course, you just knew everything. And you brought me here. You brought her here. You brought all of us.
You being here actually has been a problem. And he gestures down. He says, Moonsworn Heart did not tell me that she had called you until the last minute. you and your compatriots have changed the timetable on my plans significantly.
That's actually kind of funny because I was about to say the same thing to you.
What do you mean?
The timetables, they're about to be very shortened.
Do you think you can fight me?
Honestly, no. But I'm sure as hell going to die trying.
Ming, what's your thought? What's your reaction? You will see Piers Falcon probably takes a step back to observe, and you'll see Jia is kind of moving to circle and kind of get into position.
I think I bring my spear forward and move to flank with casting blaze and stand right beside him and stare Jing Copper down and say to him, "There's no reason why you should not have returned casting Blaze's love. That was a foolhardy error you made. And now the two of us will make you pay for it. For whatever you've done here, all the trouble you've caused."
And he says, "Enough talk. Peerless Falcon, show me what your great son society can do." And you will see Peerless Falcon and Jia dart forward to engage you. You know, Jia, on your scale. The other one, not. How do you want to proceed? Casting Blaze, do you want to engage in that fight? Do you want to leave Ming to deal with them and try to engage Zhang? What do you want to do?
So, to clarify something from earlier, I studied Zhang's scale. How much higher than mine was it?
If it's higher, it's higher.
Okay. Was it higher?
It is higher. Yeah, his scale is higher. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Oh, God.
Lowell, I have a question.
Sure, absolutely.
So, Broken Dancer and Casting Blaze were in love with Zheng Copper at one point, which implies that we were relatively close and might have a flashback of showing us studying him or his fighting technique and developing a technique against it.
That's an interesting idea.
Because we evidently knew him well.
I would certainly allow, when we kind of get into the scene, one of the things would be is we've got two foes on the table who are definitely above your scale, that you guys have to figure out ways to reduce their scale or change things up to be able to deal with them. That's what happens in the scene. In a short-term game, what we call master scale and higher scale. Master scale is things that you absolutely have to go off and study, and they're the big bad scale and things like that. But for short-term games and things like this, we have a scale essentially that actions have to be done by people, sort of non-combat actions, to get their scale down, and that's where the creativity of describing how we do that comes in.
Okay.
Cool. So yeah, I like the idea of the flashback being a way to help you get Zhang. I'm going to give these two a round of dealing with the foes before I bring you two onto the scene. Okay.
Okay.
So Casting Blaze, you could face Zhang right now.
I could,
and we would roll. The roll is when you fight someone who's a higher scale than you, you lose. If you roll well, you get to say what happens. You get to say how you lose. You get to have control of that narrative.
Okay. Cool. So I think it just in the moment isn't smart for me to go off against Zheng by myself, despite my anger. And I think that the fact that after all that's happened, Ming is like actually, flanking my side, I'll stand by it. And just I think just in character, I'm gonna kind of like almost half jokingly kind of look at you and go, so you want the one on the left or the right?
Oh, I want Peerless Falcon.
Oh, wouldn't have expected that. And so I'll just like switch off and go against Ja.
Okay. So when you fight a foe who is on your scale, roll with your style element. And Ja has his, Jean blade out, a little bit different, a little more villainous looking blade than Delon's, but definitely up and in your face.
Of course. Okay. All right. So I'm rolling with wood. Ooh, okay. So that's an 8.
That is an 8. So here is the choices. You can win at a cost, you can lose, or you can deadlock.
Yeah, I'll deadlock.
Okay. So tell me what that looks like. What does that deadlock look like?
So I think there's a brief element of surprise because Ja and Casting Blaze have never faced off against each other.
Right.
And one of the things that works in Casting Blaze's favor usually is his element of surprise. So the blade is deadly, but the staff is surprisingly sturdy and actually like fends off the first few blows. But, I think Ja's also been counseled by Peerless Falcon to watch out for this, especially after the whole tea shop fight. Like, clearly I'm not to be underestimated. So the first few blows are like, it's evenly matched. And then like, there's just this point where like we get up real close and like it's staff against blade. And he just kind of like, so it's kind of held like this. And I've kind of got it over my head like this.
In a deadlock, you get to reveal a detail or ask a question of him.
Okay. Yeah, I'll ask a question of him.
Okay.
What do you get out of all of this? I mean, frankly, you're the lowest one on the tier here.
He says, when Zheng Copper seizes control of the province, our society will be his enforcers, and I will have a right-hand position. And he continues to press down on you.
Okay.
Peerless Falcon, no weapons, glides up. And he's like, I know you, don't I?
I think he definitely recognizes me now.
Yes. Yes. I forgot that I didn't kill all the whimpering little girls.
Yes. Well, I am a lot stronger than I was back then.
Let's see. And he grabs your spear with his fingertips. And he begins to pull you around.
Just twirling me around the room.
Yeah, he has control. You're like trying to hold, but he holds that. And then as you kind of try to adjust the grip and then he's kind of pushes back. When you fight someone who's above your scale, roll.
I'm rolling with metal for sure here. That's a 9.
So that is a 9. You get to declare how you lose, but you do have to mark chi. You don't mark your style element necessarily, but you have to mark a chi.
Yeah, I am not.
Alternately, I believe you took swordsman, so you could mark the first of your wounded boxes.
I was thinking about that as well. I was thinking that could potentially give me an advantage to beat someone that's a little bit stronger than me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and mark that for now.
Okay. So how do you lose? How does this particular sequence of blows end that he kind of throws you back and we get that look like, oh God.
Yeah, I think I go for that same move where I jump up in the air and try to dive down, um, because he's just deflecting all my blows up close. So I step back and throw myself up in the air, and he just kind of like spins around almost like Broken Dancer style, and this giant gust of wind like throws me harder than you could ever imagine. Could be generated by someone doing that, like back into one of the walls, and I just like kind of crumple.
Smashes down to the ground. I think it's that shot with him closing in to finish you off, with you deadlocked, and with Jane Copper kind of moving to observe, Sour Sadness Bear kind of still standing around, and then the doors come open, and we can see silhouetted by the light, we can see Delon, and we can see Broken Dancer. What do you two do? What do you do, Broken Dancer?
Well, obviously, I first strike a dramatic pose. So fans up like this. You know, they've got the moonlight coming from behind us, giving that fantastic silhouette. So it's all about the presence. And then I think it's taking in the scene very quickly. She sees, what was the name of the other lover? Moonlight.
Now that you say it, I'm going to forget it completely. It is Moontorn Heart.
Moontorn Heart on the ground.
Another young woman in danger at this because of all this.
Potentially dead. I see Zheng in the golden shirt, and I also see Casting Blaze down. Right? Isn't that
Casting Blaze has been thrown? Is up and locked up with Ja right now. While the person who's on the ground is Ming with Peerless Falcon approaching.
Okay. I took to Dylan, and I think this is where I have a flashback, but I'm going to use a different flashback if possible. I want this to be a steady flashback on the golden shirt.
Okay.
And the flashback you're seeing is that when Broken Dancer, when I found out about the presence of the shirt, and I realized what this could possibly mean, I needed to study it in more detail, thinking perhaps I would just replace it with a fake. But when I pored over the books, I discovered, and I think this is where I roll, by asking around and whatnot. And let's see, what would be suitable for this? This is definitely calculating. I don't think it's particularly wise, so it's calculating. So I guess it's metal. Oh no, this could go bad.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that went bad.
What'd you roll?
6.
You rolled a 6. Do you have any bonds left to burn?
Oh, that's a good idea. Let's see, what would be an appropriate bond to burn? Yes, because I do have them.
I think you may have burned both of your bonds, though.
Oh, did I? Yeah, they're both marked 0, aren't they? So I guess I must have. I don't remember doing both of them. I thought I burned one. Okay, well, also I did both of them. So then I don't have any bonds, so I guess it's just a failure.
Now, here's the thing. There is a support action to essentially to create a bond that is burnt immediately. Because you had, who did you have with you in that flashback scene that you were talking to?
I was sort of monologuing.
Okay.
I said that, the overfill monologue. But it could be a sort of thing that I guess I could turn to Dylan and say, Dylan, isn't the golden shirt from the oh, sorry, I'm blanking on it. I don't have the sect right in front of me. The Great Sun Society, isn't it an artifact of the Great Sun Society? And that could be your opportunity to support. So I guess what I'm sort of
Yes.
feeding you.
Yes. And yes, it is.
Sure. What do you want to roll with? And this is one of those, on a success you can do it. On a fail, the consequences hit both of you.
I think I'd roll it with wood. This is like curiosity, like he's studied a little bit about this in the past.
Yeah.
So that'll give me a +1. And that's an 8.
That is an 8. So on a hit, they can clear chi or add a bond that you can then immediately burn. So yeah, you can push that up to a 7. And we look at the new technique.
I wasn't going for a new technique, actually. I was looking to declare a detail.
Okay. So this is declaring a detail to help set up the situation. So what's the detail you're declaring?
The detail is that since the golden sun, then going back into the library with the candle and Broken Dancer reading, if this is indeed the golden shirt of the Great Sun Society, then in the moonlight, it has no power.
Interesting. That makes sense to me. I like it. So we see that flashback. Delon, your master is about to finish off Ming, and it looks like your rival is locked up with Casting Blaze.
Peerless Falcon is my focus. Like he's broken my family once. He will not break it again.
So you want to move up there and join Ming in the fight against Peerless Falcon?
Yeah, I think he starts to approach her to finish her off, and I think I think as Ming starts to get up, you see Milan step in front, sword out, and he looks at his master and says, "Draw your sword. You defile the Great Sun Society sufficiently, you may as well finish it by using your weapon."
And so we've got set up there the possibility of you facing your master who is above your scale, but if Ming helps, she may be able to draw him off and bring him down to your scale. We have Casting Blaze and Ja locked up. We're going to go for round 2 on that. And then what are you doing, Broken Dancer? How are you going to get him out of here, or how are you going to get Moonlight on to him?
She's going to start spinning very rapidly, and she's going to release her fan as sort of a boomerang. Then it's going to go flying up and take out all the windows on the floor.
Awesome.
Go ricocheting around to take it out so that it'll start streaming in.
Then we're going to start with you. Then we're going to resolve their stuff, and we're going to see where we're at that point. So I think that's overcome to change the environment in that way. With what's at risk is him kind of coming at you and hitting you in the midst of it.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Actually, I think this is my.
You can
falling pedal move. So therefore, it's because it's combat level sort of.
Yeah,
so,
I'd roll with water. That seems fair enough.
Ooh, that's a 13.
That is a 13. So even as the first one hits and you see him realize what's going on and he's leaping after you to try and stop you, you're doing that, you're catching it, you're throwing it again, you're cutting another window open, and he is chasing you around the room. When he lands, he crashes, puts dents in the wall, even as he's pursuing you, trying to get you to stop from doing this. He is a potent foe. And he is hot on your heels. Ja pushes you back and moves in for that second round, Casting Blaze.
All right. Cool. So I will go ahead and roll again with wood, and I think as I do, I just go, round 2.
And what are you changing about your approach against him this time? What are you doing differently now that you've had the measure of his metal?
Well, it's the fact that before I've basically been trying to overpower him directly, like sword to staff, and that was kind of my point. Was, hey, pay attention to this, because now I'm just going to start hitting him.
Nice. You change up your tempo. You change up your strikes. He is still on your scale.
Yeah, yeah, and just like what I imagine it is that like the staff isn't my weapon. I am.
Nice. Let's see you roll.
Oh yeah, that is an 11.
So, what is the strike that sends him sailing?
So it's he tries to hit me with the sword, and I block it with my staff like this, and then I literally just have it on the ground, push off with it, and literally just kind of do like a double kick straight to his head.
And he will go flying backwards, and much the same crack that we heard when he killed Harmonious Fox. We hear that crack as he hits the wall. The Foley artist used the same sound effect, and he slides down. Yes, and I'm going to wait for him. We'll give Chris a moment, but essentially we see Peerless Falcon, has been pushed back and given you a second to catch your breath. So tell me, Ming, you can tell that you need to do something to set up Delon to allow him to get in there. What is it that you do that brings Peerless Falcon down a scale?
I think that after all this time, Ming is willing to put her life on the line, and I think she kind of is going to try to throw the spear to distract him, and then literally just toss herself at Peerless Falcon to take a hit, giving Delon time to get in there and finish it off.
Yeah, there is. You come in, you guys are coming in back and forth, and then you throw yourself, and he does that hit, but it takes all of his attention because, he expected you to do some defensive move, but then you're in on him. Delon, sword out. You've been exchanging blows with him. He finally does draw his blade to parry it back, and then there is that moment where you see Ming comes in, and boom. Your master has to spend his energy, has to spend his focus to send her flying back. And what do?
I think he's going to step forward and just go for a killing blow.
Then let's have you roll. He is at this moment on your scale.
Okay.
Can I burn my bond with Delon to give him a +1, or is that only
Yes, you may.
Okay, so we'll do that for sure.
Let's see. That is a 9, and I have actually a bond that would really make sense for me to burn right now.
Oh, Great Sun Society?
Yes.
Okay.
So that puts me to 10.
So how do you cut him down?
I think like he strikes Ming and she flies back, and Delon comes in and he's not fighting with the Yielding Sun style at this point. Like his style has completely changed. He is moving in close. He is doing like precision strikes, and for a few moments, I think Peerless Falcon tries to deal with him with his bare hands, contemptuous still. and then he suddenly realizes that that's not going to be able to work. He's too unfamiliar with this different style. He can't deal with it barehanded, and he draws his sword. And as he pulls his sword, again, Delon closes the distance even closer, and Delon comes in, and they lock blades for a moment, and Peerless Falcon thinks he's finally gotten the measure of this new style, and then Delon headbutts him right in the face, and he goes down hard.
And do you cut him down? You said you were killing him,
Oh,
right?
Yep, right through his heart.
Peerless Falcon falls. Broken Dancer. You've drawn off Jen Copper's rage. You've made him angry. You can see the coloring on the golden shirt in the moonlight change. You know that you have just a moment here because he is tough, but he's been chasing you. He's enraged at this, and you've got that shirt down. And when he comes for you, how do you take him out? What is poetic here?
That's what I'm trying to think. I think there's going to be a sort of a pause as they start facing off against each other again, and Broken Dancer is going to have her fan ready, and she says, "I am glad I will be the one to kill you. Only I could kill you. I need to be the one to cut out your sorry heart, the heart that we all, so many of us, loved and should never have loved. Your heart is not worthy of our love, and I am honored that I will be the one to take it from you. You lowly swine." And then I think so. Hopefully that will go. Then that will be goading him, and he will come running at her, and she will do a jump so that her feet are up in the air, and she's going to be kicking him in the face with her bladed shoes, and then running down his back and kicking off of the bottom of his feet to kick his feet out from under him, and flipping over to come flying down and slice him, not across the neck, but across the face and down to her heart, through his heart with a fan.
Let's have you roll.
Yeah, now if I muck up the roll, it just okay. And this is with water. It's a 7.
So you can do it with a cost. That I think it is that you do that kick and you land, and we see it pull back. And I in the Shaw Brothers films, you get those shots of people having been struck in the eyes, where they put their hands up to that. But even as you're kind of landing back, he does kick back, and he catches you in the midsection, and it does send you flying away. And you're going to mark water as you come crashing to the floor, but we'll see him kind of spin and does that and then crashes to the ground dead.
Okay. Yeah, I think I definitely want to mark it would either be a chew or a wound. To do it. I'm just thinking what's so appropriate. But so is Ming also dying or dead?
Ming is alive.
Oh, Ming is alive. Oh, okay. Because I thought that was
she just got thrown backwards by that blow, and you will see Sour Sadness Bear has been standing off to the side, like he hasn't raised his weapon once. He's just been standing there, like, I don't want to get in the middle of this. And you see he goes over and he's, kind of shakes Moonsworn Heart and kind of wakes her up. And it's kind of like, puts his hands up like that. So I think we need to move to our epilogues here.
Mhm.
So let's kind of go in that same order we just did. Are you okay with starting the epilogues, Casting Blaze?
I'd actually prefer to go a bit later.
Okay.
I'm kind of like all over the place right now.
Okay, let's give you a second to catch your breath. Ming, you defeated Peerless Falcon.
Yeah, that was my. I mean, I came here for Delon, but without Peerless Falcon being defeated, there would have been no way he would have left. So,
Brother and sister side by side fighting.
exactly. I think this has bound us together, and you know, One-Eyed Ming just starts gushing about the history of their family and how they were, destroyed long ago. It's just the two of them left now, and how much, they have to carry on the name and maybe rebuild the family somehow, bring them back to their former glory, and how glad she is that they're together, and how she never wants them to part again for long.
We see you conversing, probably get a montage of you telling the stories of the family that you've brought up. Delon, what is your epilogue?
I think it matches up with that in large part, and I think also if Joshua's okay with this, they go to the Great Sun Temple, and I think he approaches the Great Sun Temple. He has 3 swords in his hand and the golden shirt, and he walks up to the chief monk. He hands him the shirt. He hands him the 2 swords of Jia and of Peerless Falcon. And he holds his sword up and then just drops it.
Nice.
And walks away with Ming.
Broken Dancer.
I think we see Broken Dancer at another festival, a large festival, and the dance she dances is the dance of Harmonious Fox and the Golden Shirt, and it's from the perspective of Harmonious Fox primarily. So showing sort of a clumsy and innocent girl, and then all the motion and swirl around her as she goes through and is pushed against different elements and people that are manipulating the situation to their advantage. And it, of course, ends with the death of Harmonious Fox.
Nice. Casting Blaze.
It was a mistake going last. I'm crying now. Oh, man. Oh, God. Okay. Well, in that case, so I think, we see Casting Blaze with Moonsworn Heart, and they are burying Jing Copper, because despite everything, he still meant a tremendous amount to both of them. Other people are welcome to be there. I'm not making that an exclusive thing, but it's certainly a thing that happens. And I think before he makes any other decision, Casting Blaze offers to stay and continue to protect this place, protect Moonsworn Heart, to do what he was not able to do the first time. And I think it's too painful. And I think that the last we see...
me too much of him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's worse because I remind her too much of who she thought he was. Because I'm him not corrupted. And with that, bow and turn heel and walk down the steps and continue on my journey solo as I did at the beginning.
Nice. Thank all of you very much for that, for letting me push a little hard framing there, moving things along. For me, that was awesome. Let me just check in and see if anybody has any last thoughts, anything they want to say or add to the document of the video before I stop recording. For my part, I loved all these characters, and I loved the heartbreak of it so much. Josh, any last thoughts you want to add?
I'm just sorry we didn't get to see more between Casting Blaze and One-Eyed Ming. I felt like I had to push on that at the end, even though it was rough. But no, it was wonderful. Everyone was fantastic.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Chris, anything you want to add? Final thoughts?
Oh, it was great. I'm glad you went last, Peter, because I would have been crying after that.
Yes.
So I kind of I wish I still had something, because I could have at least asked to end it with like maybe you meeting up with One-Eyed Ming and Delon like outside of town as you walked off, but that was that circular thing you had going was just stupid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We'll save it for the sequel.
Yeah. Christo, thank you for I'm glad you came and played. I was bummed that I didn't get to play City Mist with you, but I'm so glad I got to play Hearts of Wulin with you.
I'm psyched to be in this one.
Any final thoughts you want to add?
I'd like to add, with the permission of I'm blanking, Casting Blaze and Moontorn Heart. That was her name, right?
Sworn.
We have the credits scrolling by, and you hear sort of this plaintive sing-song melody that's sort of a sorrowful melody, and you see somebody cooking some sort of meat, and the three, Casting Blaze, Broken Dancer, and Moontorn, sitting down and eating a stew, and you can see that probably Moontorn is maybe a little pale at the idea of it, and Broken Dancer is saying, is indicating, no, we have to do this, we have to finish this, and as you see it coming, you see that then, and Broken Dancer says, there's only a little bit left, and you can see that there's a little piece left of a human heart sitting on the cutting board, and what they're eating is Zhang's heart.
Oh,
she said she was going to cut it out.
Oh, that is pretty dark, dude.
Too dark? Sorry.
Maybe a little too dark.
Okay. Sorry. You can back it out then.
No, I think I would have to X card that, because that stuff's the black sorcery of the setting.
Oh, okay.
But I like the idea of a meeting between the three of you, having to try to in ritually cleanse those memories, in some way, burning clothes or symbols or whatnot. Peter, I appreciate you leaning to the emotions throughout, and it was so much fun playing with you for the first time.
Thank you.
Any last thoughts? I'm going to give you the last word here.
Yeah. I mean, just with regards to that, I think it would be okay. I still want I still like the last image of Casting Blaze like completing the cycle, and for him, that's really what it is. But outside of that, I'm so excited for May, because then, the Kickstarter and more people are going to get the chance at this, because even just 3 sessions, like, I mean, I don't even know if 12 sessions would be enough, but man, do I want to try. And I'm looking forward to being able to like try this out in the future again, because this was so much fun. And thank you, Lowell. I'm very I'm very excited now, even for the months before us.
Good. I'm glad you all dug it. These are the kinds of stories that I love. I love melodrama. I love melodrama with some action, and there's the TV series that and novels these are based on just make my heart sing. So I had a very good time with this with all of you. So I'm going to stop the broadcast.